The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Death, taxes, and Geno Smith getting pulled over and not having his license. The latest on Geno and more on training camp as we're under 3 weeks away from the Jets reporting to One Jets Drive. SI Jets reporter Nick Faria joins me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Jets, let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show presented by PrizePicks. Only one live show today if you're watching on YouTube this morning, because I'm filling in for Michael K today on the radio from 1 to 3. So watch it on the ESPN New York YouTube channel or listen on the ESPN New York app. 8:80 a.m. has the Mets on the actual radio, so it's a stream-only show. So make sure that you listen on either the app or, again, watch on YouTube. We will see you this Saturday for Gangrene Beach Club. This guy has his Speedo ready to roll, joining us right now in his weekly spot to talk all things New York Jets is...
How far will he go to push his Jets takes? How far will he go to get the Jets to trade for Bad Eagles players? How far will he go to confuse Asmaniacs as to where he works because he keeps changing jobs like twice a week? It's the great Nick Faria!
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria joins us now. Hello, Nick.
Never gets old. How's everything going, Jake?
Fantastic, man. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday. Again, if you want to meet Nick, you want to meet Wayne Crabett, who, by the way, should be joining me on radio today at 1:30, Jet fans. 1:30 Eastern. Wayne Crabett hopping on, and we'll certainly talk about Gangrene Beach Club with him.
Make sure you... as well.
That's right.
As well.
That's right. A Flying Dutchman, that Wayne Crabett.
That's true, yes.
GangreneBeachClub.com to get your tickets. Nick, let's start with the latest on Geno Smith. This is from my podcast with ESPN Jets reporter Rich Cimini and Brandon Tierney yesterday. Rich, right before we went on the air, said, hey, guys, Geno Smith pulled over again. Here's the latest on everything involving the Jets quarterback.
So a couple of things here. And with the allegations that emerged a couple of weeks ago with his ex-girlfriend, the allegations of a dispute or perhaps domestic violence. We don't know that yet. No change. They're still investigating it. Have not received any update from the Davie Police Department. So presumably that investigation is still underway. No arrests, no charges, and that is ongoing. Now, there is another development relating to Geno, and I want to make sure we put this in the proper context, because in a vacuum, it would be no big deal. But given what happened or allegedly happened a few weeks ago, I guess it all goes into the story. So I was, just before we came on the air, I was going through some court records in Broward County, Florida, which, of course, where Geno resides. And he was pulled over for speeding a couple of days ago. On Monday, it would happen this past Monday at about 11 o'clock in the morning. He was doing the police report claimed that he was doing 70 in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. And he also was not able to produce a license at the scene, so he got ticketed for that. So, look, we've all been through this. I don't know about you guys, but I've had speeding tickets in the past. So, no big deal, right? But in this case, it probably deserves to be mentioned considering it's the quarterback of the Jets and what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And these are traffic violations. These are not misdemeanors. These are citations. It's about $400 in fines. He doesn't even have to show up in court. It's your basic speeding ticket. And so I just thought it deserved to be mentioned because of all the other stuff that's been happening.
Well, here's the thing. He was pulled over for speeding on Monday, didn't have a license. He got pulled over for not having the right tags on his vehicle in March, also didn't have his license. Again, can Geno just carry his license on him? Is it that hard? That was my first reaction as Rich was going through this. That's not twice in 4 months. He's been pulled over and didn't have his driver's license on him. How hard is it to carry your license on you?
I kind of talked about this already, but on Boy Green's show, but I'll give a different kind of perspective on this. If I were Geno Smith's PR guy, if I was Geno's guy to make sure he stayed out of trouble, the very clear answer is this: dude, you're never driving again. Enough with this. Two traffic stops, 2 traffic violations. There's no need for this. There's no need for this added publicity to this. You're creating more problems than they're worth. Just stop driving. There's no need for it. Hire a driver. You don't have to worry about it ever again and go forward from there. But as Rich also said, and I completely agree with, is this something that you're going to sit here and say, is this going to be a distraction for the Jets when they take training camp or go into week 1? Of course not. It's a traffic stop. We obviously don't know about these more serious allegations. We have to wait and see what evidence is presented for there. So obviously, it has a completely different situation. But in the context of these 2 speeding tickets, it's really nothing more than just you wish he was a little bit more mature. You wish he wasn't as abrasive to the cop when he was pulled over that first time. Is this going to deter him from being the starting quarterback week 1? Absolutely not. You just want to see better decision-making from the quarterback. But in the end, it's just not going to mean as much.
It just feels like it's unnecessary. It's not a great look. It's just weird how he becomes a Jet again, and like all the immaturity stuff that surrounded him in his first go-around with the Jets seems to be now following him once again. Again, it has no bearing on what the woman that, filmed the whole viral incident on Father's Day. It has no bearing on that, but we still don't have any resolution on that to this point. So, the last thing the Jets need is if they get to training camp and then it becomes a huge story if, the police department in Davie, Florida ends up charging him with something. So again, it's just another thing, right? Another thing that is surrounding the Jets that is not the ideal scenario that you want going into training camp in a few weeks.
Of course not. But and you brought up his time in Seattle and Vegas. I think there's a different dichotomy to being a starting quarterback on the West Coast or for a team like Vegas as opposed to a big market team like the New York Jets. Everything is more heavily scrutinized. People are looking at you more. I think that's kind of the difference. This isn't to say that he didn't get into trouble in Seattle or Vegas. We have no idea. It just may have been completely covered in that sense in terms of driving and everything like that. We just don't know. But again, it's a distraction. You don't want to see it. But it's one of those things where I look at it and say, okay, what's the expectation for Geno? What's the expectation for the Jets? If he's supposed to be the franchise quarterback for the next 4 or 5 years, then it's get your act into gear now, move forward. We need you to be better than you currently are. But he's a stopgap. That's all he is. That's all his role is this season. He is the stopgap to whatever quarterback they eventually draft in 2027. So, yes, you want to see a captain, a franchise quarterback, be more mature, a guy who's going to start for you all season or expected to start for you all season. But is this the guy that you're going to be trusting 3 years down the road to win you games? Of course not, because there's going to be another quarterback in here that takes over eventually.
I mean, the head coach needs to win games, though, so he needs Geno Smith to get his head on straight and be locked in and provide competent play at that position to have a chance.
Sure, but even then, right? So let's say it's either one of 2 options. Either Geno Smith plays competent football, the team plays a lot better, they win more games, and Aaron Glenn gets another year and the ability to draft his quarterback next season in 2027. Or the distractions mount up for Geno Smith. He hasn't learned anything from his first go-around. The team crumbles. The team is bad. Aaron Glenn and the coaching staff get a complete overhaul. There's a new offensive-minded guy that gets hired. and you still draft a quarterback in 2027 anyway. So the end point to this is really all the same. They're taking a quarterback in 2027. It's just a matter of how they get there. That remains the biggest question.
How they get there, it could be the Jets are awful and they use one of their own picks on that quarterback, or maybe the Colts are awful and that helps them. But either way, they got 3 first-round picks, and we know they're going to be aggressive to get their quarterback, because even if you're, an optimistic Jet fan, I don't think you're expecting Geno Smith to play so well that the Jets think they have their guy for multiple years.
Yeah, I think the floor has to be 7 wins. They have to get to 7 wins. There's talent on this roster. You have to expect the coaching staff to improve. The floor must be 7 wins if this team is going to keep this staff and keep this kind of core together going forward. It's just that simple.
Nick Faria is my guest. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. 1 live show today, so we have a giveaway at the end of this very show. Enter for your chance to win a signed football by Jets running back Breece Hall. Gift a channel membership, and as many entries as you gift, that's how many chances you have to win when we spin the Wheel of Champions at the end of this very show. And tomorrow morning will be the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Your chance to win 6 prizes on the show, including 2 tickets to Gangrene Beach Club, a Jets Legends jersey, you pick the player you want, a signed football by the guy joining me on radio today at 1:30 Eastern, Wayne Corbett, a signed helmet by Joe Klecko, and our other top 2 prizes, signed Broadway Joe football, and the grand prize, a framed custom jersey display of the aforementioned Breece Hall. So we got a lot of prizes we're going to be raffling away over the next couple of days. If you want in, make sure you get the membership, send a super chat or a Zelle to qualify and purchase raffle tickets. Nick, before we talk training camp, CBS Sports put Aaron Glenn as the number 1 coach on the hot seat going into the year. Dan Quinn was 5, Zach Taylor was 4, Shane Steichen was 3, Todd Bowles 2, AG there, number 1. Your thoughts on this list? Is Aaron Glenn on the hottest of seats of any coach going into the year?
I don't know if it's of any other coach, but he's certainly on the hot seat to this season. And listen, he's not going to be able to go 0-7 again. He's not going to be able to start 2-5 or 1-6. There's got to be incremental improvement right away. Whether it's beating the Titans, beating the Packers, whatever it ends up being, he's got to win and win early this season in order to prove that he actually understands how to build a winning football team. For better or worse, listen, Robert Saleh got 3.5 years. He got 3.5 years. Aaron Glenn getting 2, there are going to be people that say, well, he didn't get the same kind of leash that Saleh got. But with Robert Saleh, you had a win improvement from year 1 to year 2. And it happened early. I think they started, 7-3 at one point in the 2022 season. That was year 2, and they started 7-3. They got off to a good start.
6-3 and 7-4, but yes.
Whatever it was. But they had won 7 games, and they were on the cusp of a winning season going into December. Now, we know how December ended, but the win total had improved. The quality of play improved. If the quality of play does not improve under Aaron Glenn this season, then very clearly they made the wrong decision with this coaching staff, with this thought process, with this plan. Now, they're going to be able to get out of it. They're going to have a lot of coaches be interested in this team because they've got $80 million in cap space next season. They've got 3 first-round picks. So there's a lot of talent here and a lot of resources to work with. But for Aaron Glenn, it's as simple as this. It's not enough to just win 7 games and your job is safe. If you win 7 games, but you have a negative 200-point differential, that means the quality of play hasn't improved. You need to show that this team is taking strides week in and week out from a quality of play perspective. If they lose, they're losing close. They're in games they shouldn't be in, against Buffalo, against Kansas City, against New England, and they're beating the teams they need to beat, beating the teams like the Titans or the Browns or the Dolphins. It is to this point right now where it is not enough to win 7 games. They have to look good while doing it.
I mean, they need to get off to a good start, I think, for this season to be anything, because I just don't picture the Jets doing what they did, let's say in 2002 when they were 2-5 and then rallied to finish with 9 wins and win the division.
He may not get a chance to finish the year like that. And I don't think Woody wants to make an in-season coaching change like he did, because it just tanked the entire season in 2024 or 2023, whatever it was. But you can't deny, you can't start 2-5. And we've kind of talked about this before, the week 1 game against Kansas City. You say it's a must-win game. I say it's a can't-lose game. Not necessarily that the season's over if they lose to the Tennessee Titans, but, man, do the optics just hit a crater if they cannot beat Robert Saleh in Tennessee week 1.
Well, the optics of how the season looks matter. Like, if they get out to a bad start and then win games late, that shouldn't save his job. To me, if he wins 8 games, to me, it doesn't matter how it looks. He's going to be brought back because no one's won more than 7 in a decade. But if they finish with 7 wins, but they start terribly, that's not good enough. Like, you have to go out there and get off to a decent start. You have to be much better against the division. I've talked a lot about this. Week 1, must win against the Titans. You win that game, well, then maybe you can win one of your next 3. Then you could beat the Browns. You could beat the Dolphins. You could go out there and beat the Raiders. You could be 4-4 through your first 8. That's me trying to be positive. Like, that's kind of what they need to do. They need to kind of prove that last year was last year. They flushed it. They moved on. New players, new coaching staff. Glenn has learned from it, whatever. Get off to a good start and build confidence. And then maybe you learn that you can actually win. You start to learn how to win by actually going out there and building confidence early on when teams are not at their best the first month of the year. Like, if you're ever going to steal a win against the Packers or the Lions or the Bears, you rather play them early in the year than late in the year, and that's the opportunity the Jets have in front of them.
And particularly for the Green Bay Packers, they don't have Micah Parsons in that game. And Green Bay, you look at the numbers they did last season. They did not win a single game last year without Micah Parsons on the field. And they may not have Josh Jacobs. So you're looking at the perspective for the Packers of they don't have their best offensive player and they don't have their best defensive player. That is a team ripe for a sort of backseat, taking a step back. I look at it from the comparison of Dan Campbell. And the reason why is because very similarly, in Dan Campbell's first season in Detroit, they started, 10-1. They were the worst team in football. They looked horrible. And the only thing people really talked about was, man, Dan Campbell is on the hot seat. He's got to show that he can learn from his mistakes. He's got to show that he can develop this talent into a team that should be competitive. And they won 9 games. They took that next step. The coaching staff learned from their mistakes, and you saw that incremental improvement. They didn't make the playoffs. They weren't perfect, but they took a step in the right direction. That step has to be the same for Aaron Glenn this season. If he takes a Dan Campbell-like step, he's going to have a third year. If he doesn't, we could be on the market for another head coach this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, our raffle prize is a Breece Hall signed football. At the end of this show, we need 20 total names on the wheel to spin the wheel. Now we only need 18. And that's because Nate in Canada, Nate_ESQ is in the Asmaniac raffle for 2. He says, 02 made me a fan. I was almost 10. I wish I knew what was to come. You play to win the game. The 2002.
God,
Jets
I love Herman
season.
Edwards. That's actually, I love how connected sometimes the Eagles and Jets are, because Herman Edwards, hero in Philadelphia for the Miracle of the Meadowlands, and this guy was a playoff coach for the New York Jets, won a playoff game, beat Peyton Manning of all people. Like, guy was able to be successful in New York.
Multiple playoff games. If you think about it, Herm Edwards took the Jets to the playoffs 3 times. Actually, no, Pennington went 3 times. So Herm went, 3 times, 01, 02, and 04. Herm went to the playoffs 3 times as the Jet head coach in 5 years.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Herm is also an amazing guy. I have him on the radio frequently. God. He's such a good dude.
I got to tell this draft story because we're talking about him. I was 8-9 years old when my parents decided, hey, we're going to go to the NFL draft in Radio City, 2009. This was the year that Sanchez got drafted. And we're in the hotel room. We're in the hotel lobby. And Herman Edwards and Mel Kiper are standing at the lobby. And I'm like, Dad, that's Herman Edwards. Miracle of the Meadowlands. We got to go say hi to him. So we go and we say hi. And I'm a blubbering mess at all 9 years old talking to an NFL legend. And I'm like, I love you so much. In Miracle of Meadowlands, I saw the play. He's like, what do you mean you saw the play? You weren't even born yet. And he was just that kind of guy where it's so easy to talk to. Such a great guy, such a great football mind. Salt of the earth, absolutely love a guy like Herman Edwards.
He is the man. So shout out to Coach Herm. We love Herm. Shout out to Doc, Jet fan. He's coming to our Gangrene Beach Club on Saturday. Doc in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Let's go. RJ6845, Sunny1980, Antonio Z6YE, Bobby Petaway, all receiving a gifted membership there from the Doc. Dark Knight Steve in the house. What's up, Steve? He's in the raffle for 4 entries here. He says, have a great day. Jake, Nick, and the Asmaniacs, drive safely. Not only do I recommend people drive safely, remember your damn license. I don't know how hard it is for Geno Smith to not – does he not have a wallet? Like, again, I don't go anywhere without my wallet that has my license in it. I don't understand how the man could be pulled over twice in 4 months and just get a ticket for not having his driver's license on him. It makes absolutely no sense.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Remember your license, Eugene. My God.
I don't disagree. We all carry our license. And, again, I just think there's a simple conversation that ends this. Geno, you love your cars. Guess what? You clearly can't be trusted with them. You're not driving anymore.
He's 35 years old. Like, how could you not be smart enough to remember your license? I don't understand.
It's not, look, the optics with this situation are never good. At the end of the day, is this going to, tank the Jets season? Of course not. But it's just added stress for a fan base that is waiting for the next thing to go wrong. And they are proven right time and time again. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
It's just mind-bogglingly dumb. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. All right. Training camp less than 3 weeks away. Yesterday was 3 weeks to the first on-field practice because the Jets report on the 28th. So you figure first on-field practice will be on the 29th. As a reporter covering this team, what is the biggest storyline that you think will surround the Jets this summer?
It's kind of two-pronged. On offense, it's how does this group look with Frank Reich? Can he be able to modernize his offensive scheme in a way that produces points at a high clip? Obviously, his offensive scheme got stale at the end of Indianapolis and with the Carolina Panthers, but he's got talent here. He's got 3 receivers that I think could be very, very successful because they all complement each other. He's got a running game that should be very, very good. An offensive line that I think has the potential to be a top 10 unit right away this season. I love what Armand Membu and Oliver Shawn have been able to do in the offseason. Joe Tippmann, they clearly are high on him. And I do think that the combination of Dylan Parham and Josh Myers are good enough to keep this group as good as possible. So I think the offensive line is really good. Can Frank Reich's scheme be modern enough to get this offense going early on? Last year in training camp, Jake, I remember the conversations we had. The offense sputtered. It didn't look good. Justin Fields was not looking good at all. And I was kind of sitting there saying, I had the win total at around 7. I kind of want to lower that now because the offense hasn't looked good. This year, I want to see that improvement. That's got to be a major, major talking point over the next month and a half. And then on defense, it's all about the pass rush. The Jets want to play a multiple style defense, but they want to trust their corners in man coverage to handle their own. The only way that happens is if this pass rush gets to the quarterback consistently. David Bailey has a good year, the interior rushers get home, and they confuse quarterbacks enough to make mistakes. Geno Smith is someone who can throw the football down the field, but he will make mistakes down the field. If he makes those kind of mistakes, what does that look like? Is it because of pressure? Is it because of scheme? Those are 2 very interesting points on either side of the ball that people are going to want to watch out for over the next month and a half.
The offense with Reich is going to be so interesting to watch because they have personnel that we all agree looks pretty good.
Should be fun.
They have some players. Like last year, if you think about it, they went into week 1 where their number 2 and number 3 wide receivers were Josh Reynolds and Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
That was their number 2 and number 3 wide receivers. This year, it's Omar Cooper Jr., A.D. Mitchell. You added a first-round tight end who is a certified freak 7 days a week. Mason Taylor in year 2. Priest was re-signed. He's here. Like, you actually have players here. Like they should have a good offense.
There's a path where this offense finishes top 15 in most categories. Like objectively, because the receiving core is really good. And listen, we don't know what A.D. Mitchell is going to look like when the pads come on, but if he plays to the level and the talent that he has, the route running ability, the speed ability, the ability to take the top off of defense, that is something that complements Garrett Wilson really, really well. Garrett's a guy that's going to get open consistently and make plays when the ball is in his hands. A.D. Mitchell doesn't need that because he has the breakaway speed already to make a big play. You combine those two with a physical player like Omar Cooper, you have 3 wide receivers that complement each other in a way that the Jets have not had really since Santonio Holmes and Braylon Edwards were working together. You had that collection in the late 2000s, early 2010s, where there was a speed guy, there was a big play guy, and there was a possession guy, and it all fit together. You have that potential this season to really go in and say, we have a really talented receiving core. It may not be top 10, but boy, is our passing offense fun to watch.
Nick Faria is my guest. If you guys have a question or a comment you want to be read, write it in. Super Chats will cut the line, and we will definitely get into all of it. Today's show is presented by PrizePicks. I'm getting into the football of it all. The World Cup, baby. Mbappe and France and Holland and Norway. I put together a goal-scoring 2-pick power play for the World Cup. This is $10 to win $35 on PrizePicks. Mbappe will score today against Morocco, and then Holland, he scores seemingly every game. He will score 2 days from now when Norway takes on Beast Breakers England squad. So Holland to score a goal, Mbappe to score a goal. If they each score in their round of 16 match, or I guess it's quarterfinal match, actually, if they score in the quarterfinals match, you could turn $10 into $35. Make your own for the World Cup or any sport, including UFC with McGregor fighting Saturday night. Check it out. PrizePicks code HMA when you sign up. And if you put $5 in, you'll get $50 in your account immediately to play with in lineup. So here is a World Cup themed PrizePick lineup. Check it out. Comments, questions, super chats. They always cut the line. Nick, in terms of this defense, the secondary, who starts at safety and corner week 1 in Nashville? Jets taking on the Tennessee Titans.
So I will sit here and say we don't know the answer to 2 of those questions. We know Minkah Fitzpatrick is starting. We know Brandon Stevens is starting. I do not believe, and I know people have said this, that there's a competition at corner. I got to be honest. I think Nahshon Wright really solidified his hold on that other cornerback spot on the boundary. 6'4", speedy guy, can make plays on the ball. You don't sign someone that led all cornerbacks in interceptions last season when you didn't have an interception last season, and you put him on the bench in week 1. I think he starts week 1 as well. The big question is who starts at the other safety spot with Minkah and who starts in the slot. Jarvis Brownlee and D'Angelo Pons, that's going to be a camp battle that I am really excited to see because both had really good moments in OTAs, in mandatory minicamp. So I'm excited to see what that happens here. And then at the other safety spot, listen, Andre Cisco has as good a shot as anybody to be that other starter. I think people are going to be surprised, but I think the Jets are confident in the fact that he fits what Aaron Glenn wants to do from a man cover perspective, that he could be the fit there specifically. And then you look and say, okay, well, what about the other guys? Well, you have Dane Belton, who I think is a really good third safety. He's going to be in the mix for that. You have Malachi Moore, last year's 4th-round pick. He's going to be in the mix as well. So I think this defense in the secondary should be a lot better because you have a guy, like I said, who's picked off a lot of passes. You have a ball hawk at safety. The talent level has risen to where Jets fans should expect improvement going into next year.
What week of the season will they get their first interception?
I think it happens week 1. Because, look, some people like Cam Ward as a prospect. Other people don't like him. I think he's going to want to put the ball and push it down the field. And when that happens, a guy like Nahshon Wright or Minkah Fitzpatrick can really make big plays. I think it happens early this year, and I think it happens week 1.
Week 1, D'Angelo Pons, pick 6 against Cam Ward.
Boy. Listen, that happens. There's going to be a lot of Jets fans that start getting a little mouthy about how far this team can go right away.
I mean, they got to win week 1, dude. They have to.
It's a camp. Look, I go back and forth with this, man. I don't I don't agree that it's a must-win, because if they lose that game and they beat the next two teams, they're 2-2 anyway, so who gives a crap? But
what are the odds that happens if they can't beat the Titans, though?
I think they can beat the Packers. I think that's a game they can win, just objectively. If they don't have Jacobs, if they don't have Micah, look, the Packers, I think, are a little overrated in that sense, where people like Jordan Love, but they don't really see everything else on the roster, and they lose these terrible games. They lost to the Cleveland Browns last season. They are absolutely beatable without their two best players. So I do think they can beat the Packers if they lose week 1. But the optics of losing to Robert Saleh, losing to Brian Dable, it's not something you want to deal with. I'm not saying it's a must-win. I'm saying it's a can't lose. You cannot lose to Robert Saleh and still expect this team to go and do things that you want them to do going out for the rest of the year.
You reporters or something, say it with your chest. It is a must-win. They cannot lose to Saleh week 1 and then, they'll beat the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears. They could be looking at 0-4. It could spiral. It could snowball like losing to Rodgers in week 1. Look what that did to the team last year.
And to be fair, if they beat the Titans, I do think there's an opportunity for the Jets to start 2-0. I do think, because again, Packers are beatable. What happens with Detroit, I don't think they're even going to come close to Chicago, because Chicago's a Super Bowl contender. But you start 2-2, you're building something. You're taking that step towards positivity. But could you imagine this fan base week 1 if Robert Saleh somehow wins that game? That's not a future that Jets fans want to deal with.
I can imagine it, though. Like that, the Jets, when they're in the revenge spot, they always lose. Last year to Rodgers, they lose. A couple of years ago, Sam Darnold in primetime, they lose. Geno Smith, for crying out loud, eliminated them from the playoffs in that 2022 season. Anytime the Jets play someone notable from their past, the last 10 years, let's call it, they lose.
The only thing that may be different this time around is the very real fact that Robert Saleh has brought a lot of former Jets and Giants players who have no history of winning, no history of success, and he brought them all in as if to say, I need my guys because I believe we can turn into winners right away. The Titans have a lot of question marks. Their offensive line's a question mark. Their defensive line's really good, but what is that secondary going to look like with that cover 3 scheme with Robert Saleh? It may take time to really develop that group going forward. So this is a winnable game, and this is a game that they should be able to win. But as you have said, and I don't necessarily disagree, this is also a game that they have historically lost, and lost embarrassingly.
Ladies and gentlemen, our raffle prize at the end of this show is a signed Breece Hall football. If you're just joining us, Sam Aiken is now in the raffle for 2. Sam, thank you very much. He says, this defense is not good. Weekly adjustment to opponent tight end play was non-existent. What is different this time? Why will the Jet defense be much better this year, Nick?
I mean, you look at the levels of talent that they have brought in. First off, David Onyemata against the run is one of the best run-stopping defensive tackles in the National Football League. And you brought in arguably the best nose tackle in football in T'Vondre Sweat. I believe he finished top 2 in nose tackles by Pro Football Focus. 2 really good guys at stopping the run. Those are the expectations. I think the run defense should be better scheme-wise and talent-wise as well. Then you look and say, well, how are they going to cover the tight end? How are they going to be able to do this? Minkah Fitzpatrick? I mean, the reason why you bring in a guy like Minkah is because he can cover so many different players. He has experience in the slot. He has experience in the boundary. He can cover the tight end, the running back. He's even covered receivers before on tape. This is a player that you have to be a Swiss Army knife to cover whoever the best matchup is for you. This is not the same Jets defense talent-wise than last season. It's completely different in that case. The real question is scheme. Can Aaron Glenn put these guys in a position to be successful, to maximize the talent on the roster? To sit here and say that this defense is not good, or that, there's no difference from last season, is completely ignoring the 2 major points that this team improved at, and that's at safety and that's at defensive tackle. They look completely different than last season. Yes, there are going to be questions about linebacker. Yes, there are going to be questions about depth. There's going to be questions about the pass rush. But stopping the run is all about getting the interior line figured out. Stopping tight ends is making sure you have 3 quality safeties that you can trust. And the Jets have both of those checked off in droves. So
I don't know about that.
disagree.
I think Mink is still good. I think their other safety is a huge question mark right now.
But with Dane Belton, who Pro Football Focus graded him very well. He's a very sure tackler. You can have him as a box safety to help with the run. You can have your defensive line. You can trust your defensive line should be able to stop the run this season. But when you have a player like Minkah Fitzpatrick, this guy solves issues by his presence alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, a passionate Nick Faria.
The talent's there. That's all I'm saying. Coaching staff.
The talent is better. To me, Aaron Glenn had the quote, play calling is a superpower. It's on him, man.
It's all on him.
That will be one of the dumbest quotes an NFL coach has ever said if this defense stinks.
I completely agree. And when he said it, I turned to you. I think afterwards I said he hasn't learned. There's no reason to say it. You've added more of an issue where if you lose to Kansas City and you lose in a blowout, everyone's going to talk about your superpower failing you. So again, I'm not sitting here saying that the defense is going to be top 10 or top.
Play call is my superpower, really.
I'm not going to say any of that. All I'm saying is the talent level is there to be a really good defense. It's up to the coaching staff to put this all together.
Jay writes in lots of magnets on the Faria fridge.
Yeah, we got a lot of weddings, a lot of.
Where's your Jake Asman Show magnet?
It's on here. No, it's on a washing machine. I put it on. It's all alone in our washing machine.
We gotta get some Asmaniac magnets on there as well. We're gonna do your calls coming up. If you're on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, stay right there. Now is the time if you want to call in. Again, raffle at the end of the show. We have 6, 11, 7, 30. We are 7 names away from the 20 we need to spin the Wheel of Champions at the end of the show. If we don't hit the number, we will spin the Wheel of Champions tomorrow with all the other prizes. But I think we're going to get to at least 20 on the show. That's my intention. And we'll raffle away a signed Brees football raffles tomorrow for all the weekly prizes. So make sure you enter. Again, it's the Brees frame jersey, Broadway Joe Namath signed ball, Joe Klecko signed helmet, Wayne Corbett signed football, a Jets Legends jersey, and 2 tickets to our first ever Gangrene Beach Club featuring Nick Faria, Wayne Corbett, and many of your favorite content creators, super fans, podcasters, all in one spot. We will get to your calls after a quick word from a big-time fan of the show.
Hey, Jet fans. This Saturday, July 11th, in Atlantic City at the Ocean Casino Resort, HQ2 Club, there's a big party. Gangrene Beach Party. Let's go. Listen, Wayne Corbett, all the Jet reporters will be there, the podcasters, a ton of the fans. There's gonna be a cast of characters. All the people that love and support the green and white. Let's go. Listen, it's gonna be a great day. We'll have a few cocktails. We'll talk about the state of the Jets. You gotta like what you see so far. Let's hope it's gonna be a good season. I look forward to seeing everybody in Atlantic City on Saturday for the Gangrene Beach Party. Let's go!
Yeah, baby. It's all happening. Sam writes in, how many points do you see this offense averaging a game?
I think league average. Is probably the expectation. They've got enough talent. The question is scheme. The question is Geno Smith and his decision-making. But what's the league average now? 24, 23 points per game? I think that's a safe bet at this point.
Is that really what league average is? That feels so foreign as a Jet fan.
Let me see.
Like, is league like the Jets picturing them scoring 23 points a game is like, wow, that's 20, average.
23 points, 22.9 last season. I think the Jets can get there. They've got enough talent on the roster. The offensive line is good. Again, we talk about last season and how bad last year was. I pin a lot of it on how bad the quarterback room was last year. There were guys open down the field that the quarterback just didn't throw the football. And I think Geno's problem is not finding a guy and throwing him the ball. The problem is him going, that guy's in double coverage. I have the arm talent to get it there. Let's push it down the field. And then it comes into with interceptions and mental mistakes. But I would rather go down swinging with an offense like this where you're kind of growing and developing. Make the mistakes. Throw the ball down the field. Make some big plays happen. But this offense, if the Jets had this offensive line in 2023, this receiving core in 2023, this quarterback in 2023, I think the argument can be made that they make the playoffs because they won 7 games with Zach Wilson as the starter. And they didn't have an offensive line. They didn't really have a collection of good receivers. There was just so many things that held them in the way when Aaron Rodgers went down. There's a lot of talent on this group where you can say, hey, they may not be a top 10, top 5, Sean McVay style offense, but can they put up points? Can they make things interesting? I think they certainly can.
Chuck Wagon says 23. Holy crap. I'd sign up for 20 per game. John LG writes in, I'd be so happy with 20 plus points per game. M123 says I'd take 14 points. I mean, again, the average being 23 as a Jet fan is like, wow, that's average. There are weeks the Jets couldn't sniff double digits.
Listen, that 4 games last year, they did not throw for 100 yards passing. In the modern NFL, they did not throw for 100 yards passing 4 times. It's inconceivable. And Jake, I'll ask you the very simple question. Is Geno Smith an upgrade over Justin Fields?
Yes.
Of course.
But that doesn't mean that Geno's good because he's better than
Fields. That's what I'm saying. That's
Fields is the bottom tier of anyone who will start in the NFL over the last 10 years.
Not debating that at all. But the ceiling is so – not even the ceiling. The floor is such a massive upgrade between what Justin Fields is and what Geno Smith is that you have to look and say, okay, well, they're not going to be anemic passing the football again because there's too much talent. The quarterback's a lot better. Even if he's not good, he's still a lot better than Justin Fields. It's just by the law of averages, he's better. And I think that alone, with the talent included, I think puts this team in a better situation.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's get to your calls now. First up today is the Doc, who will be joining us on Saturday. Doc Jet fan. Hello, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning. Nick, shot out of a cannon. I like your takes this morning. It's great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a tendency because it's a slow news cycle now to overreact to everything. And I'd just like to give you my take on Geno and tell you why I'm so disappointed. My dream scenario for Geno was he comes back as a new man. He learns his lessons from when he was younger. He has such a good season this year in 2026 that even when you draft your quarterback of the future in 2027, you say, look, Geno's too good right now. Let's keep him on a hot streak. Let him mentor this young quarterback. Maybe the quarterback sits like Jordan Love did for a year, maybe 2. Not the worst thing in the world if Geno's performing all-pro caliber, kind of quarterback. That ain't happening now. And, I don't want to condemn a guy for getting speeding tickets. We've all gotten them. I certainly have. But this isn't the guy I want mentoring that quarterback in 2027. Think about what the Raiders did with Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza. They got a guy who's going to teach him not just to throw the quarterback into coverage, but also how to wake up, get your sleep, eat the right thing, treat the press a certain way. Geno ain't that guy. So my dream scenario of him mentoring a guy for a year or 2 that they draft in 2027, he's just not. It's just not going to happen, and that's to me very disappointing.
But Doc, let me ask you this, right? And this is kind of my point to all of this. Even if let's say that scenario that happens, they move on from Geno Smith and they draft a quarterback. What's to stop them from bringing in Andy Dalton or another veteran quarterback to help mentor the rookie, whoever it ends up being, whether it's Manning, whether it's Moore? I think we're trying to make too much into this of, well, Geno Smith could have been that guy, but his decision-making is too bad. To me, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if he's good or not. Because if he's good, okay, then you try to keep him on for another year. You have that developmental piece. But if he's bad, you move on for him anyway, and you're restarting again at quarterback regardless of what happens this season.
I totally disagree, and I'll tell you why, Nick. I'm tired of the revolving circle that is the Jets. Every year there's somebody new. I mean, yeah, you can certainly bring in whatever retread you want to next year if Geno is not the right mentor. But at what point are you going to have some continuity on this team? When you know what to expect, when the guy that you have for 2027 is in the building in 2026 and has the whole offseason to prepare for 2027. Look, the Knicks were not the most talented roster in the NBA, in my opinion. But there was no team that showed greater focus in the playoffs, showed better character in what they accomplished. Character matters. And, you got to have the right personalities in the building. All I'm saying is, look, I'm not trying to kill Geno for some of the stuff he does. The optics are terrible. And people on the chat will say, well, I got speeding tickets. You're not the quarterback of a $10 billion franchise. He has certain responsibilities that come. He doesn't make $30 million a year, maybe makes $3 million. But whatever it is, I would think there's certain responsibilities that come with the job.
Doc, but I'll leave you at this, right? I'm not, your point is very valid. I'm not arguing against that. There's reason for concern. But you talked about continuity. You want continuity. You want a stable course of leadership. That starts with the coach. If you want that stability, then Aaron Glenn needs to show that. Because if that's the case, if you want that stability, you talk about the New York Knicks. Well, Leon Rose and Mike Brown were the guys that had the continuity and said, we are going to raise the floor on this roster where we are more focused, more balanced than we were last season, deeper than we were the year before when we made the Eastern Conference Final. It starts with coaching. And in this essence, we want to talk about Geno Smith and having the continuity at quarterback. It's about continuity at the head coach, continuity in the offensive system. The players are always going to be interchangeable. But if you have the same system and you're developing it the right way, you're going to be able to find success regardless of who the quarterback is.
Nick, I agree it starts with the coach, but it doesn't end there. I mean, to have players, to have continuity, I think is important also. But that's just my take. I totally agree with what you said about AG. It's funny. The roster is good enough to at least be average, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think, I hope that nobody grades AG on a curve and says if they win 6 games this year, look, they doubled last year. No way last year's team was a 3-win team. No way. So, like as Jake has said, Jake, you brought up a great point on Collective yesterday, that the Jets are going to be pressured to make a decision on AG because they can't just go status quo for the 3rd year when their job becomes so attractive, given all the assets they have for 2027. So I think it pushes the needle to make a decision earlier than maybe you would have had to otherwise. I thought that was a great point. Anyway, Fireman Ed would have been a great professional wrestler. Have a big party. I'm digging it. So hopefully we'll see you all Saturday. And thanks for all the good contact, both of you.
Doc, appreciate you. Great call. My big thing is Glenn has a roster that I think is good enough where you could evaluate what he is as a coach.
Absolutely.
You want to say last year was an outlier year, an anomaly? Okay. Well, go out there with a much better quarterback, much better roster, you could say, talent. Maybe the defensive talent, you could argue, is not as good without Sauce and Quinnen compared to what they have now. But the players that they brought in fit the defense he wants to run, and he's the one who said play calling is a superpower and clearly gave a directive to Darren Muji or gave suggestions on type of players he wants. And that's how you get a guy like T'Vondre Sweat, who's a big, beefy defensive lineman for the 3-4 we all think he's going to be deploying. That's how you get Onyemata. That's how you bring in DeMario, who already played for Aaron Glenn when the two were in New Orleans together. Like that is now enough with Minka as well and all the other moves. Bailey, the number 2 pick in the draft. Come on. You should have enough to have a competent defense. That's what he's presiding over. You should have a competent quarterback as long as Geno doesn't keep getting, pulled over and go to prison. Like, show something. Show us something. Because if you don't show us enough, if I'm on the fence, I'm moving on. My job's attractive. I can get a real coach. I have $100 million in cap space. I have 3 first-round picks. I have a talented young offensive line. I got a number 1 receiver. I got an elite pass rusher.
Number 2 receiver.
I have players here. This job's attractive for Mike Tomlin or Sean McDermott, or to attract the top offensive mind, whether it's Davis Webb if he emerges, or if KOC and the Vikings have their issues and he's available. Whoever, you're an attractive job. I'm not sticking with Glenn because I don't know. Let's just give him a 3rd year. I'm not letting him pick a quarterback. No, that's the old. You draft Sam Darnold, then you fire Bowles. You're bringing let's set our young quarterback up with the right coach. They're paired together. That needs to be the mentality. And if Glenn can't prove over the course of the year, he's the guy. See you later.
So let me ask you this, Jake. They win 7 games, but the quality of play is there. Like, they've lost the majority of their 10 losses come final minute, maybe just a hair talent less than the other team. Does he stay?
Yes, but I don't know if that'd be the right move. It's really tough to say. I want to know who the wins are against. Did they beat the Patriots once, the Bills once?
If they go 3-3 in the division,
he's probably back then. That means, he's probably back in that scenario. Barring, they start 1-5 and then win a bunch of games late.
They start 7-4 and drop the last 6 games. Right. If that happens again, I don't see him staying.
Again, 7 is borderline. Woody might want to I don't think we'll be looking at it the same way we're looking at it, though. He likes Aaron Glenn a lot. He personally hired him. People don't talk about this. He didn't hire Saleh. That was his brother overseeing it. Douglas made the recommendation. He didn't hire Gase. That was his brother. This was the first head coach that Woody Johnson has hired since 2015 when Todd Bowles was the Jet coach. I think that matters. Woody had no relationship with Saleh. That's why he had no problem firing him, 5 games in to the 2024 season. Like, I think Woody wants this to work. He doesn't want egg on his face, and I think it's a big part of all this.
I think, look, we don't know what Aaron Glenn's going to look like, but the talent level on this team, you mentioned on defense, Sauce Gardner, Quinn Williams aren't there anymore. But they have upgraded substantially in other places. They upgraded safety more than they ever have in the last decade. Minka Fitzpatrick is an all-pro. They don't have the cover guy in Sauce Gardner, but they have a different cornerback who's actually picked off passes consistently in his NFL career with Wright. And then you look at the defensive line. Okay, Quinnen's not there. You don't have the same pass rusher as a defensive tackle, but you have 2 guys that are some of the best run stoppers in the National Football League. I think they have upgraded this defense from last season, but they've upgraded it in a different way than they have been in recent years. That's the kind of different outlook to it. And if it's his superpower, they should have no problem being a top 15 unit, no problem being a better unit overall, turning the ball, forcing turnovers, making life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. It should be better on defense than last season.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are 6 entries away from spinning the wheel at the end of today's show for a Breece Hall signed football. I'm going to make it so we're only 5 away. I'm going to gift the membership coming up. If you want one, here's what you need to do. You like this video. You click the subscribe button, and you hit in the settings icon the little switch that says, yes, I want to receive a gifted membership. And the YouTube algorithm, it might select you. Nick, count to 5.
Done.
You had to do it out loud, but that counts.
I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am gifting a membership right now. Listener Devin Chafin received it. He is in the raffle for 1 entry. We're 5 away from spinning the old Wheel of Champions at the end of the show. Let's get back to your calls now. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Again, we started early today because I am filling in for Michael K on the radio from 1 to 3. It is on YouTube and the ESPN app only. 8:80 a.m. has a Mets game today. So stream only, YouTube only. If you want to watch or listen to the show, Wayne Corbett is scheduled to join me today at 1:30. So listen in to hear from one of the all-time great New York Jets. With that, let's get right back to your outstanding calls. We're joining us right now on the Gus Buster Umbrella Hotline is a man that we revere in this community.
Wayne, this is for you.
Oh, shit.
Peter Castro joins us now. Hello, Peter.
How you doing, Jake? How you doing, Nick?
How you doing?
Good. This Geno Smith stuff is starting to bother me. Now, I understand what Nick's saying. It doesn't really matter and stuff like that. It does matter. It does matter. It's a negative on the whole team. Everything he does is that we're hearing is negative. Why doesn't Moji or Glenn call him in, sit him down, and tell him, knock it off? Carry your license with you. Is that so hard? To carry your license?
Maybe they have and he doesn't listen. I don't know.
What's that?
Maybe they have told him, and he just doesn't listen.
He's got to listen. He's got to listen. He's supposed to be a big part of this team this year, and so far it's been nothing but negatives. And, it's just not very encouraging. We've gone through enough with quarterbacks, and hopefully he straightens his act out and they get on the board. But I don't like the way he talks to the cops. I don't like on that traffic stop that I saw, he's mouthing off, how come you took my license plate number? Maybe because you don't have a tag on the car. It's the wrong one. I mean, you don't say stuff like that. You just don't. Take the ticket.
He's not very
and shut
likable.
up.
Like, he does not come across very well in any of these situations.
Well, hopefully he's not like that as a teammate.
I don't think he is, for what it's worth. I've never heard a teammate complain about Geno.
They love him in that locker room right now.
Well, hopefully he gets his act together and they have a decent season. But I'm not very happy. Well, I think they're going to be pretty good, but I still don't trust Aaron Glenn. I don't trust
the coach. Don't let go of the rope.
I don't. I just have no confidence in him until I see it. I want to see it on the field, and I can tell you already, on the first game of the season, I'll be there, Jake. They're playing Tennessee.
We're going to be there, Peter. Get ready.
Yes. This is what you got to watch out for, and this is what Dable's famous for. Cam Ward's going to be running. Just like Josh Allen and just like Daniel Jones, he has those design plays for the quarterbacks. The Jets better not be sleeping on that.
Have you seen Cam Ward run?
I haven't seen him run.
He's not a runner. He's not a runner.
You think Daniel Jones is?
He was far more athletic coming out than Cam Ward was.
Well,
from an objective standpoint, Daniel Jones was always seen as a mobile Eli Manning, better or worse. However bad he was he was a mobile guy. Cam Ward is not mobile. I mean, there are clips of him in the pocket where he's throwing off his back foot because he's just so leisure without anyone touching him. He's not a scrambler.
All right. Well, I from watching Dable over the years, any quarterback he has is running.
It's a different quarterback this time. That's all this is.
He still has legs. He's still young. He can run. I just hope the Jets aren't sleeping, because that's one way we always get beaten, is with a running quarterback.
They got to be ready to go week one. I'm with you, Peter. Now, have you seen Mike Tomlin, Team 69? You're out east, right? Have you run into Mike T?
I heard that he's hanging out at John Scott's. So I got to go over there, and I got to go over there on the weekends. That's when he's there. I'll make contact with him.
The 69 team is recruiting Mike Tomlin to coach the Jets.
Good luck on that one. Oh, boy.
Why? Who would you want that's better than him?
I want, if that were to be the situation, I want the Jets, if I were in the position of picking them, I would pick an offensive-minded individual that can call plays and develop quarterbacks. It is
Kevin O'Connor.
I don't think the Vikings are getting rid of O'Connell. He signed his extension, and they won. They finished over 500 with J.J. McCarthy last season. They're not firing him this year. I can't see that happening. But listen, Davis Webb, Josh McCown, there's going to be offensive guys that show up this year as play callers. Literally, anyone with an offensive mind with a history of developing quarterbacks should be the pick if they are going that route, because you are taking a quarterback in the first round in 2027.
How about this club, Nick? Is he any good? Have you seen him, Nick?
Yeah, I think he's been solid. We need to see what he looks like in the pads. He's had some practices where he looks very accurate. There's other practices where learning the defense, he throws some bad passes. So we need to see more of him to make a determination if he can be a quality backup or not.
And Jake, how about those Knicks, huh? They were like a buzzsaw. They were like a buzzsaw. Nobody was beating them. Oklahoma, nobody was going to beat them. They were unbelievable. They were a true buzzsaw. You couldn't beat them, no matter what.
It was the ultimate team.
It was their year. It was their year. And we got to get rid of Austin Wells and Aaron Boone as soon as possible.
Listen at 1 o'clock today before the Yankee game starts. I am going to destroy the entire organization. I have had this pent-up frustration watching this, and I I cannot wait. The first 10 minutes, I will be as mad as you will ever hear someone on the radio. I am so disgusted with their play.
Oh my
If
God!
you're thinking about disgusted, look at Queens. That's all I'm going to say. Absolute embarrassment.
Look, oh, the Mets.
Good God.
Oh, well, they traded half the team away. All the good players, Nemo, Alonso.
They don't have pitching. They literally walked in last season, realized their pitching staff broke down, and said, okay, we're going to fix our offense. Well, the offense looks a little bit better now, but they can't get anybody out. My biggest frustration in baseball are pitchers who cannot throw strikes. Guys who cannot throw strikes are the most infuriating people on the planet to me, and the Mets have 8 of them on their roster.
And we got 7 on them. We got 7 on our roster that can't hit at all. They can't even put the ball in play. They make me sick. And the other day it was 2nd and 3rd, and Goldschmidt takes called strike 3 right down the middle. Right down the middle.
He's 0 for 30. He's 0 for his last 30. It's insane.
I've never seen anything like. The only real hitter they got on that team is Ben Rice, and even Cody Bellinger has gotten awful quiet. But I don't know.
He's in a huge slump. No, they're a disaster. I mean, it's the same crap every summer.
Let me ask you this, gentlemen. Let me ask you this. If that's what it took for the Knicks to win a championship, are you still happy?
Yeah. What, the Yankees being awful, but the Knicks win a title?
If the Yankees had to be awful for the Knicks to win a championship, are you accepting of that?
Yes, because I've seen the Yankees. They play in the American League, and the American League sucks. So they'll be a wild card team, but it's a joke. Like the standard should be win the American League East, which they never do.
Well, no, they won't. They'll be one and done this year. They're not good enough. Their pitching's not good enough. Their bullpen stinks. They stink. I can't even watch them, Jake. I can't even watch 2 innings anymore.
It's brutal. They strike out more than any Yankee team ever. It's a joke. But yes, I'll take the Knicks title for sure because I don't believe in this Yankees team. So I'll gladly take the championship.
I'll sit here and say this. I tell Brittany this all the time. I want the Mets to be good. I want them to be good. But if I have to sacrifice 15 years of Mets utility for 3 more Super Bowls, I'm running to the bank, baby. I'm just going to say, cash in now. I want to see 3 more. We all have
Peter,
our teams.
Are you coming Saturday? I know Neil's coming. We changed the cigar policy at HQ too, so Neil could smoke his cigars.
Yeah, Neil was going to come with me today on the boat, but he left already for Atlantic City. No, I'm not going to be there. I have too much company here. I can't leave. I'm like the entertainment committee here.
All right, I have another question for you because you're a hardworking man. What are your thoughts on Beast Breaker's lawn care business? If it's above 85 degrees, he won't mow your lawn.
I can understand that. Looking at Beast Breaker, he's a heavy set guy. He said he had a stroke, so he can't take the heat. Did he really have a stroke?
He had heat stroke.
No, he had heat stroke.
Did he have water?
How can he not have water in that body? He's loaded.
What do you think about
water.
Storm Igloo Care instead? Then he could just operate out of like Alaska or the North Pole.
He reminds me of somebody that I grew up with. He's talking. You don't even know what he's saying. Half the time, please spit it out and tell me what you're talking about. I don't even know what he's talking about half the time.
God, wasn't there a clip, Jake, of like someone just like Beast is going off and he's like, I don't know what the hell.
Beast, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
God, I love Carl. I knew it. I was sitting. I was like, God, I know. I've seen the clip.
I don't know what he's saying either.
Well,
totally
Peter,
lost. Listen,
I hopefully we'll see you soon, but I'm glad you called in. You look very tan. You look very happy in the summer. It's great.
The summer is, I have 5 grandkids. They want to go on the boat. They want to go jet skiing. They want to go fishing. They want to go down to the beach. I mean, it never ends. Go back and forth all day. By the time they leave, I collapse at 7 o'clock. Collapse. Peter, I can't even keep my eyes open.
Peter, you can't tell me you're not enjoying every second of that. Come on.
No, I love it. I love it, but it's not easy. I'll tell you that. It was a lot easier 30, 40 years ago. Now it's torture. It's like, go back out, Poppy. I want to go back out. I want to go fishing. I want to go skiing. I want to go. Oh, shut up.
How old are they?
Well, 7. One is 3. One is 9. The other one's 12, 14, and I think 12, 13. I don't know. I got three girls, 2 boys. Oh,
Grandpa of the Year, Peter Castro, everybody.
They make videos all day. That's all they do is they make dancing videos, the girls.
You got to get in their TikToks and then send me.
Oh, God.
I got their TikTok.
Send me the videos, all right, and I'll put together. All
you got to be in it though. You got to be in the video dancing with your granddaughter.
Yeah,
I'm not in any of them. They won't.
I need you dancing with them.
They won't even dance with me. They go like when I'm in the shower, they'll run out on the boat and make a video. They won't do it with me. They say no. I'm not doing it.
Ask to be in one of their TikToks.
Tell them the Jake Asman community needs you on a TikTok.
On a TikTok. All right, I'll try. Next I'll try, but I doubt it. They don't like doing that. Anyway, guys, have a great day and let's go Jets and let's get Geno in the office there and sit him down and tell him to put his effing license in his wallet, please. So when you get stopped, you can hand it to a cop without asking them stupid questions. Oh, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you guys do it. Nick, you follow these guys. What are they, stupid?
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Castro.
Look, we got Tomlinson. He ain't getting out of here. Get comfortable, pal, because as soon as Woody wakes up, he's going to make you a rich man.
60-19, delivering Mike Tomlin to the NYJ. Nick, I appreciate you hopping on. I will see you in 2 days in Atlantic City.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you, buddy. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Nick Faria with us in his weekly spot here on the Jake Asman Show.
How far will he go to push his Jets takes? How far will he go to get the Jets to trade for bad Eagles players? How far will he go to confuse Asmaniacs as to where he works because he keeps changing jobs like twice a week? It's the great Nick Faria.
MDP writes in, what are they, stupid? Needs to be a clip. I agree. More of your calls coming up. Let me just shout out a couple super chats and gifted memberships. First, how about a Zell from John J. Williams? He is in the raffle for 2 entries. Thank you very much, John.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
We are officially having a raffle at the end of this stream for a Breece Hall signed football. Ralphie Rocks has 4 entries in there. He says, I'm in. See everyone on Saturday. Ralphie coming to Gangrene Beach Club.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Chuck Wagon in the house. We haven't had a Chuck Wagon call in a while. Chuck, I hope you're doing well. He gifted 5 channel memberships. Let's go, Chuck. Hit it.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Don't leave. Who let the dogs out? Don't leave.
Rick Astar, Grim Jowls Gallery, Sean Evans, Brandon Roberts, Kyle Smith, all receiving a gifted membership there from the Chuck Wagon. More of your calls. Jets fan is next on the show today. Hello, Jets fan.
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
Australian Jets fan is now Jets fan? What is this?
I just wanted to, well, if you can't tell, I look a bit different. And I wanted to see if people would recognize me or not, because I didn't even recognize myself at first.
Holy crap. Your hair is so short now. When did you cut it?
I reckon, what is it now? I cut it almost maybe 3 weeks ago.
I don't think it looks bad, though. You just look radically different.
Yeah, I've been told that I look about 10 years younger. So
you kind of look like the guy on Norway that's really good at scoring goals.
Haaland?
Yeah.
He's got long hair, though.
Yeah, but you have a similar face.
I've been told I look like Chad Warner. Not that any of you know who that is, but yeah, that's about the only comparison I got. But you know what? I take that compliment. I wish I was as good at scoring goals as Haaland. Then maybe Finland would get to a World Cup.
I'm sorry, Australia got wrecked by the United States in soccer.
I mean, it was rigged, so I don't really care.
Rigged.
I mean, you saw the Argentina-Egypt match. That guy stepped on his foot and they got VAR to go back like a whole minute to check that foul. But then when that American guy handballs it in the box, and VAR's nowhere to be seen, like, how does that make sense?
I'm not sure. I'm not a soccer guy.
I'm just saying they pick and choose when they want to review plays for like a foul or a penalty. And yeah, I mean, it's all corrupt, but I don't really care. It's over. I'm not going to be watching soccer for another 4 years anyway. So it's time to get ready for the Jets. I can't wait to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning to watch Geno Smith play and Aaron Glenn coach.
I don't think you're being serious with that take.
I'm not going to tell you if I am or not, but what I wanted to ask was, if you had to bet on one of these three options, which one would it be? Aaron Glenn being the Jets head coach next season, Aaron Glenn getting fired in the middle of the season, or Aaron Glenn lasting the whole season but not being the coach next year?
What are the odds that Aaron Glenn is? Wait, what?
Or which
Say the question
option,
again?
if you had to bet on one of these three things to happen, you can only pick one. Which would it be? Either Glenn getting fired in season, Glenn surviving the season but not being the coach next year, or Glenn being the coach next year?
You're not going to tell me what the record is if I say he's the coach next year?
Oh well, it's not about the record. It's about when the Jets next year. Do you think he will be the Jets coach or not? If you had to make a prediction, if you had to bet.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking me like what scenario would I prefer. If I was making a prediction, I don't think he's the coach next year because I don't think this team wins enough games for him to save his job.
Do you think that he makes it through the season though?
Yes, I do think he makes it through the year. I don't think Woody wants to fire him during the year. I think if the Jets move on from Glenn, their best path to attracting a top coach is you let him get the 2 full years like Gase, then you move on. No one could say, oh, how could you pull the plug on him in the middle of the year? What would you expect? It's you let him get through the year. And plus, if you're starting terrible and you'd be having the conversation about firing him, wouldn't you be better off just letting him finish the tank job at that point?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
again,
look,
this is me being rational. Woody Johnson is not rational. So he could be pissed and say, F this, I changed my mind on the guy. I want to fire him. I'm almost 80 and I'm never seeing wins. And I'm taking my frustration out on him. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if I own the Jets, I'd give Glenn the full year, basically no matter what. And if he doesn't prove he can coach, I'm moving on and I'm hiring Tomlin, McDermott, or getting a top offensive guy.
I mean, yeah, I agree. If you couldn't tell, I'm not really that optimistic about our chances this season, but I guess that's the beauty of the sport. You never know what can happen. But I hope Aaron and Glenn just comes out and proves us all wrong, because there was probably the worst coaching I've ever seen last year. Like, some of those moments were just ridiculous, which I think we can all agree upon. But yeah, it'd just be really sad to see him just absolutely ruin his Jets legacy with the absolute abomination of a coaching performance he's put on so far. And if that were to continue, it would be sad, in my opinion. I don't want him to be remembered as the worst Jets coach in history.
It's unfortunate because it's a great story if he was the guy to lead the Jets to the playoffs and could be the long-term guy. But again, we got to remove feelings from it and just evaluate it strictly on merit. And if he doesn't prove he deserves a third year, I don't care if he was a great Jet 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. You got to move on.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, we'll see this year if play calling is a superpower, if by his standards, play calling is all of our superpowers.
That quote is either going to age spectacularly well or be one of the dumber statements an NFL coach has ever said.
I mean, we can only hope. We can only hope for one, you know. I mean, we don't have much as Jets fans. Sometimes we just got to stay delusional.
We definitely do need to stay delusional. We will. We're also very passionate and angry, so that will continue as well.
At least the Wizards are winning the championship next season.
That will not be happening. Now, are you going to keep the hair short, Australian Jet fan, or are you going to grow it back?
We'll see. I'm trying to just live in the present. So I'm not making decisions about the future yet. I'll just every day I just make a new choice. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel.
When will you visit the United States once again?
I'm not sure. Probably not until after Trump's presidency ends. It just depends when I can, get the funds. I was talking about going with my dad, I think 2028 or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, I'll answer that question next time I call in.
Australian Jet fan, you are a weird guy. We will see you whenever you call in next.
Aren't we all? See ya.
Yes, very much so.
Rejected. Sorry.
Australian Jet fan was at our draft party in 2025. And I gifted him a Justin Fields jersey, which he now can replace Fields on the back, and it's a Geno jersey. Hey, shout out to Lou B, who's in the chat. We'll see Lou at Gang Green Beach Club if you're making the trip. Lou was featured on the image of the athletic story that Zach Rosenblatt wrote, where he's doing a fan survey on the Jets. And you see the photo there of Lou and all the crazy Jet fans at the draft this year. Boy Green front and center there. We love that. Mikey Hulkhands there. Great Jet crew. Our guy Lou Del Mondo in the chat. What's up, Lou? Lou is the founder of the brand new NY Jet flight crew. He's coming down to AC Saturday. If you're coming to Nashville, you'll meet Lou at our Gang Green pre-party at Barstool, Nashville, the day before Jets Titans. And Lou and his team, they're putting together the big tailgate that we're all going to be at the morning of the game on September 13th. Tickets on sale now, GameDayFlightCrew.com. Hopefully you took advantage of the discount before July 1. If you didn't, that's okay. You can get your tailgate tickets now. $85 includes all-inclusive beverages, tailgate games, a live DJ, Nashville barbecue, and more. Once you get your ticket, eventually when we get the exact location for the tailgate, it will be sent out to you. Waterfront location, riverfront, or the parking lot right next to the stadium for those coming to Nashville week 1. Last chance to get in on the show. Also, Beast apparently is in the suburbs, so he's not on hold right now. We might need someone to help send us to the Wheel of Champions for the Brees signed football that I'm raffling away. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is on the line.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman, he got an orange wall.
What's up, Asmaniacs? How you guys doing? So let's talk about my sports takes of the week. So the Yankees, oh man, they were bad yesterday against the Bucks. This guys, Yankees players, any Yankees players, this is guy. So this is a baseball bat. I'm holding a baseball bat. You have to swing it. Be like, boom. That's how you hit a baseball bat. And then the Mets, they've been garbage. They've been hot garbage. And then for the Jets, you know, training camp is in 30 days. We're gonna have a wonderful open practice on Saturday. It's pretty much a big sell. Why is the Jets only doing one open practice? You know, but we do need to prove ourselves. We do have 3 preseason games. You know, we have Tampa, Pittsburgh, and the Giants. We need to prove ourselves in the preseason. And I have a question for you, Jake. When do you think Aaron Glenn's gonna get fired? Because so far, I don't think he's looking like a good coach. A prediction, I think end of the season. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
I think Aaron Glenn will not be fired during the season.
I mean, but Woody Johnson's also stupid as well. But Aaron Glenn's, he's going to be like, I think, you know, my prediction, Jake? I think we're going to finish 6-11. That's my prediction.
6-11?
Yeah, I think so.
What about 11-6?
It's not going to happen. I mean, Aaron Glenn's going to be like, oh my God, my defense is a superpower. It's not. But honestly, what's Beast doing in the suburbs right now? I was just curious.
I don't know. Why you seem to be very focused on Beast.
And then Rich Ken says, "This kid looks sounds like cooking chicken to me." Honestly, Rick.
Can you hear me?
Honestly, Rick, you just don't. You're just jealous.
What? And he's gone.
I can do the wheel of champions for today, Jake. I can do the wheel.
I don't know if you have what it takes.
I could definitely do the wheel of champions.
I don't know if you're made of the right stuff.
I definitely can do a way better job than Beastbreaker. Bigfoot Mike says 10 or 11 wins. We're gonna win 6. My Bigfoot Mike, let's be realistic. It's gonna be 6 wins.
And Derizi said you secretly love Beast.
I just think Beast is just not my league. You know, he's never gonna be my league. I'm much more of a man's man than Beast.
Beast. Beast kind of looks like Majin Buu from this angle.
Yeah, he does.
Beast, you there?
Siamo, Beast.
Beast.
Beast. Probably his Wi-Fi is terrible.
We might need you for the wheel, Max. Doesn't look like Beast is available. Beast.
Beast Wi-Fi is probably bad.
J-Quest is enjoying Beast Call. Says best Beast Call in a long time. Well done.
I think I'm just more J-Quest. I'm more entertained than Beast, honestly.
Jerome says you fantasize about Beast. Is this true?
No, it's not. And then what's the deal about this? Beast should do an attic party.
How come you're not coming on Saturday, Mad Max?
I'm actually doing I've an FC Mount game that I'm doing game day operations and social media first. I'm busy, Jake, you know.
Game day operations. They put you in charge?
I do the game day stuff. So I do the posters, I get all the stuff for the waters, you know. It's a legit internship, you know. So I do all the game day operations, and then during the game I take videos for social media, Jake.
Are you a social media savant, Mad Max?
I am a social media savant. I have more social media followers than Beast, you know. Beast complains, "Oh my god, 85 and up." 85 is nothing, honestly, Jake. I understand if it's 100 degrees, but 85 degrees is not bad, especially if Beast will get no business with storm.
Beast, you there?
I'm getting.
What? Beast?
Look, you little son of a bitch. I'm gonna get, if I was on this bus right now, I will kick your teeth down your throat and thrash your ass all over the place. I'm gonna throw you from hotel wall to hotel wall and make sure when your face is all crimson mask, I'd make sure to destroy whatever's left and then take you out like Wolverine did years ago on X-Men. You are a loser and you're weak.
Max, would you like to respond to Beast saying you're a loser and you're weak?
Beast is just jealous of me, honestly. Beast is just jealous, you know.
Is he jealous of your manly manness?
He's just jealous of me being much more of a man than him. I'm a manless.
I see. All right, Mad Max. Well, we'll see you soon, all right? Stand by in case we need you for the wheel.
Sounds good.
All right.
Rejected. Sorry.
Beast, you there? Or has your internet crapped out? Now, normally, I bring on my tech guy when we have these sort of issues with callers. The problem is my tech guy is the one having the issues right now. Last chance to get in on the Wheel of Champions. Let's give some love to Bino, who says, Jacob, long time no chat. I had a medical issue and was out of commission for over a month. Let's go, Jets. Bino, I hope you're okay. Welcome back, my friend. We miss your positivity and funny lines in the chat. Bino, good to see you. Let's go.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Nate checks in. Shout out to Nate. Nate, your David Bailey jersey was shipped off to Canada this week. I don't know how long it will take to arrive, but you'll get it soon. I already have $50 on a bet for 9.5 plus wins. What odds did you get on that? Y'all keep downing my blind faith and thrill for disappointment. Oh, it's in Canada now. All right. Did you get it yet then? Look, if you want to bet the Jets to go over their win total, I don't think it's a terrible bet. 5.5 is very low. But there's a reason it's 5.5. We should look and see. This will be an activity I'll do at some point here. During the playoff drought, what the Jets win total was at the most common sports books and how often they went under it versus how many times they went over it during the 15-year playoff drought. That's the question. Because last year their win total was 6.5 and they won 3 games. 2024, I think it was 9.5. Obviously, they went under. 23, they went under, but, you know, obviously Rodgers got hurt. They still won 7. They did go over their win total in 22. I'm pretty sure it was 6.5, and they won 7 and 10. Now, that's an example of how expectations change based on how a season plays out. When the Jets were 6 and 3 and 7 and 4, you were not going to accept a 7 and 10 season. But their win total going into the year was 6.5, and they did eclipse that number. I don't remember what it was in Salah's first year, and I don't remember what it was in Gase's last year, but it was definitely under in Gase's last year. They won 2 games. Ladies and gentlemen, Beast is back on the line holding what appears to be a limited edition Oreo pack. Hello, Beast.
Get them while they're fresh. We got them for $4.97. What you see is what you get, brothers. And don't
you wearing a Ranger shirt? Ew.
Well, hey, I don't got many T-shirts right now because right now all my stuff's in a laundry department. That's why I keep it fresh. You ever hear of clean? If you're not fully clean, unless you're...
Beast, he's gone. Man, these tech issues are tough. Real tough. What's happening? Ladies and gentlemen, I need to finalize counting all the raffle names. Once I do that, we're going to spin the Wheel of Champions. Mad Max has offered to do it. I don't think Beast is going to be able to do it. That's the question. Who's going to step up and deliver the Wheel of Champions for the people? Now, while I'm counting the names, I do want to bring this to the attention of people who watch the show. We're giving people plenty of notice, and tickets are flying off the shelves, as they say. I reserved 70 tickets for the annual Asmaniac meetup at a Jet home game. This year, October 25th, we're all going to be going to Jets Dolphins, section 146. Tickets are $150. It includes a field pass to go on the game to go on the field after the game on October 25th. If you want to join us, we're letting people buy up to 4 tickets for their group. You have to sign up for my Patreon, and you'll see the private link to be able to get on and buy the tickets. It's also in the Discord for those who have synced the Patreon with their Discord. So just to give people an update, we have the tickets available now. Whatever, I'm going to give people, a couple weeks here that are just Patreon and Discord people. And then whatever we have left over afterwards, then we'll open it up to the general public. But I can't guarantee that we'll have tickets left over from the initial 70 in section 146. Great seats, lower bowl in the corner. So not in the end zone, but in the corner of one of the end zones. Very similar seats to where we sat last year for Jets Panthers. They're actually better this year and a little cheaper. And we got the field pass. We're going to do a tailgate the morning of. I know a lot of my listeners are season ticket holders, so you don't need to be sitting with us if you want to come to the tailgate. But if you are part of the group buy and you want to go on the field afterwards, that's included in your ticket. So again, it's first come, first serve for Patreon members right now. But if you want to join us, I recommend you get your tickets as soon as you can to secure your spot. Because as of this morning, we have 49 tickets left of the 70. 49 of 70 spots have already are available. So I'm bad at math, But that tells me we've have sold 21 tickets so far. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish counting the names. In the meantime, I'm going to play you something that was quite magical last year. It's the event that I was just talking about. The Asmaniac meetup for Jets Panthers last year at MetLife.
Asmaniacs are at MetLife to root for our Jets. Jake Asman and Nick Shine are your hosts. We may never win a game this year, but we can party hard with our Asmaniac brothers and sisters. Hey! It's Big Joe, steals the show. He's a celebrity they all want to meet. His back is crap, but we got him a chair. Somebody needs to carry his ass into the stadium. We all love Mr. Bonesy. He's the champion who thinks he can kick this ball. And there's that legend Rick Kent, travels 3,000 miles to watch the Jets lose games. We also have Jay Quest and the great Kyle Clifton. Today Kyle is outside, not inside, but can carry 17 beers all by himself. The 4%ers showing up to win our hearts. These girls make all the Asmaniacs smile. And there's Dre Day who gets the party smoking. No, I mean literally smoking, cause he brings the kush. Hey, there's Mark Ferrero meeting all the Asmaniac legends. Is that Thunder Lips? That's a dope friggin' mustache. Holy shit, there's Papa Jet rocking his kick-ass beard. Nate brings the party volume up to 11. Basically because he had 11 drinks so far. Snowball is the best, and he loves our Jets. And then there's Lumpy Not Lumpy as Bobby Midnight calls him. We can't party without Lumpy. Is that a paper bag on PBM's head, man? Jake Asman and Nick Shine really know how to make us forget about how shitty the Jets are. Let's make MetLife rock with Asmaniac Green and pretend they are a good team for maybe a quarter. Asmaniacs roll!
That replay of last year, maybe remember, I got to email Big Cho all the info because we know Big Cho's expecting an email for everything. All right. Hey, raffles coming up shortly here. I've counted all the names as that video played. That was last year's meetup for Jets Panthers. The Jets were 0-6. They dropped to 0-7 that day. Green Gang gifted 5 while that was playing. Thank you, Green Gang. I got you down in the raffle for 5 total entries.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
You hear your name. Thank Green Gang for making you a channel member. NYC Techie, Uneducated, G's Bam, Al Gonzalez, and Javon 322, all receiving a gifted channel membership. All right, I'm ready to spin the Wheel of Champions. I think we might actually have Beast available to do it, though, but we're going to see if his internet will hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, the master of raffle ceremony.
Tweet. Stringing the cheese.
Beast.
Are you ready? It's time. Let me get to the wheel, ladies. Bring the wheel here since we're in a train station getting ready to head back to the Global Studio headquarters. We're now going to spin the wheel of champions.
Thanks, smartass. It's time for that daily Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Hasman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Excellent job, Beast, from the suburbs, sending us to the Wheel of Champions. From a train station, apparently. Who knows what that could mean? All right, Brees Hall signed helmet's the prize. Good luck to everyone who entered. You're all in the weekly raffle, which is going to be tomorrow morning. I'm doing a show with Matt O'Leary, so tune into that. Connor Long's going to do a show tomorrow afternoon, so we got you guys covered. Ladies and gentlemen, The winner of a signed Brees Hall helmet is Ralphie Rocks. Let's go. Congratulations to Ralphie. Great Jet fan. He's coming to Gangrene Beach Club on Saturday. Ralphie, you won a Brees signed football. Speaking of Gangrene Beach Club, get your tickets. If you're on the fence, just do it. It's going to be fun. GangreneBeachClub.com. You do not need to be staying at Ocean Casino to attend. You can come for the day. You can stay at a different property in Atlantic City. You can stay outside AC. People are coming from all over. We're going to have close to 200 people with our group by the time we get to Saturday. Wayne Corbett will be there. Wayne Corbett joins me on the radio today at 1:30. I'll post that interview on the YouTube channel later, but watch it live at 1:30. If you have a question you want me to ask Wayne, let me know, and I'll see if I can squeeze it in to the interview. You guys are awesome. Thanks again to Nick Faria for joining us for the first hour or so of the show. Again, 1 to 3 ESPN New York on YouTube or the app. It will not be heard on 8:80 a.m. as it's stream only today because the Mets are playing on the station, but we're still doing a show on YouTube and the app. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Go Jets. And I leave you with an email I received yesterday from a man they call the Beast. If you haven't seen this, which is everyone, sit back and enjoy what was sent to me yesterday.
Oh, shit. You son of a bitch. I just got a little gas.
What I saw was very irresponsible and very ignorant, insulting my lawn. Care when I put proper weather conditions and safeguards, even health hazards, that's taking it too far and that's crossing lines that's going to have to stop. I am sick and tired of the chat treating me like trash. And especially when I have ADHD. This year has been way too rough. First, getting screwed out of the tournament that has scars on me and people know it. Second, fighting to get a hot water heater and being treated royally bad on the show and being kicked around that took it too far to the extreme. And yes, my temper has been very hot. I am a lot of things, but you're not push my feelings to the brink. I have had enough. I have had high blood pressure since March. My doctors are trying to help me get it down. And when I come on the show, I get bashed by the haters. Most of the time, I have to find ways to be happy. But lately, my daughter broke my heart and hurt me enough by calling me a tranny. That really ripped my heart to shreds. And you wonder why my heart is broken. It hurts to lose a daughter. That's real pain. Then Max constantly boring me to death with garbage that makes me feel sick to stomach, especially when I am going a lot of pain. And then today, to have the gall to ask who my 2 grandkids are, that was a slap in the face and a disgrace. I will not be tolerated. I am trying my best to shut out the pain, but when you put Max on that, when my blood pressure starts heating up, I have blood work in September, and I am trying very hard to keep my blood pressure at a minimum. I am on 3 different pills, levothyroxine for my thyroid, naproxen for pain, and I am taking vitamins to get better. I worry about my health. That's a big major factor. I understand it's July, but bashing me is going to have to stop. Even this past April, I almost had a heart attack, courtesy of that POS, Bobby Beasley, who's been banned from the show, which is good because he's not welcome after what we all saw and that he is a sicko. But enough about that shit. Remember him from the hood, the mean streets. Yeah, I wear my MAGA hat because I don't play games or buy the bullshit. I wear it because I love this country. And my grandfather was in World War II with his brother. So tone it down. It's not easy. Being a single dad, it's rough. And look, I have no problem doing the Wheel of Champions. I think this thing Max is doing with me will have to be cut for my health and safety reasons. Dude, I respect you as a brother, but for my sake, I'll stick to doing Wheel of Champions, and that's enough. Or if there's tech issues, you can inform me, and I'll be ready by standby.
Yeah, you know, B, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets!